Good day, everyone. Welcome sa Principles of Reinforced and Pre-Stressed Concrete. Okay, so for today's discussion, ang focus natin is all about introduction to reinforced concrete. Hindi muna tayo dito magsasolve agad-agad ng mga heavy design problems and some analysis problems dahil ang goal muna natin today is we need to understand bakit nga ba natin kailangan pagsamahin yung two common construction materials which is concrete and steel. Ano nga ba yung behavior nila and paano sila ginagamit sa actual structural design. So in this topic, isipin nyo siya as our foundation topic. Kapag mahina tayo dito sa discussion na ito or dito sa ating understanding, mahihirapan tayo mag-solve later on ng mga advanced topic such as singly reinforced beam, doubly reinforced beam, T-beam, slab, column, and the pre-stressed concrete. Okay, so let's proceed with our first topic. So our first topic is all about reinforced concrete. What is concrete itself, no? So ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng concrete? So sabi dito, concrete is a mixture of sand, gravel, crushed rock or aggregates, cement and water. Kapag nagre-react ang cement at water, nagkakaroon tayo ng base na siyang nagbabind sa ating mga aggregates. So of course, from your construction materials and testing, alam naman natin na ang mixture na ito is dumadaan sa curing, which is ito ay nagbibigay ng hardening effects kaya nagiging rock-like mass siya, no? So now ang importante ng karakteristik ng concrete na ito ay strong in compression but weak in tension. Kapag piniga mo siya, alam naman natin na matibay siya. Pero kapag once na hinila natin or we apply a tension force, madali siyang mag-crack. Kaya nga sa ating structural design, hindi sapat na concrete lang ang ginagamit natin, especially in beams, slab, and other bending members. Dahil nga, alam naman natin from your strength of materials, hindi lang iisang type ng stress yung nararanasan ng sections ng ating structures. Iba't iba po yan. So we need to consider here on what you call reinforced concrete. Okay, so reinforced concrete is a combination of concrete and steel reinforcement. So of course, alam naman natin na concrete can handle the compression, which is yan yung yun yung kanyang strength, while yung ating steel handles the tension. Alam naman natin na ang steel is very good for the tensile stress but weak naman siya in compression. So that kaya sila magka-partner, hindi sila random na pinagsama yan. So, may specific role bawat isa. Kapag may beam tayo na let's say loaded downward, usually ang top portion ng beam ay naiipit or should it be compressed. While the bottom portion is nababatak or in tension. Since mahina ang concrete sa tension, doon na natin nilalagyan ng steel bar so that it can compensate the one of the weakness ng concrete material. So let's say, in reinforced concrete beam, hindi lang siya basta-basta na concrete na may bakal. It's a design composite material where each material compensates for the weakness of the other. Next, punta naman tayo sa properties of concrete, especially on the stress-strain relationship. I know that this is coming from the strength of materials, but we need to further elaborate so that pagdating natin sa mga sample problem, we already know kung ano nga ba yung pinaka-ginagamit natin as the properties of each material. So dito sa ating, let's say, meron tayo ditong concrete, then nilagay natin sa kanyang UTM. So of course, magkakaroon siya ng application of the load. So kapag na-apply na natin ng enough load para mag-fail siya, doon na natin or dito na natin i-construct yung tinatawag na stress and strain. So it has a relationship to each other. So basically kapag sinabi nating stress, this is the internal resistance. And then yung strain, this is the deformation over the original length. So as you can see in our presented graph, makikita natin na habang tumataas ang stress, tumataas din ang strain. Pero hindi forever na linear behavior yung ating concrete, which is you already see here in our proportional limit. May mga point na hindi na siya nagiging elastic. Okay, which is kapag na-exceed na niya ang elastic limit, umaabot na siya sa tinatawag na ultimate compressive strength. Okay? So in this case, alam naman natin na ang stress from your strength of material, ginagamitan natin ng symbol na sigma. However, dito sa ating discussion, all throughout in our reinforced concrete design, yung stress na nararanasan ng ating concrete, tatawagin na natin siya as F prime C, which is same manner lang naman siya, which is stress of concrete. So later on kasi in our code provision, palagi natin makikita yung tinatawag na F prime C. Okay? And then later on, kapag na-reach niya na yung value ng ating compressive strength, dito na rin siya eventually na magbe-breaking point na po siya. Okay, so when we are purchasing a concrete, especially yung fly ash cement na binibili sa mga hardware, typically may mga common values tayo na ina-avail. Hindi lang siya basta-basta na kumbaga hindi siya randomly mo siyang mabibili, no? Or randomly mo siyang mapurchase. So in actual construction or in actual purchasing, ito yung mga common values ng ating ultimate compressive strength. So first, you can avail a 21 megapascal sa market, which is this is equal to 3 KSI. Meron ka naman din mabibili na around 28 megapascal or equal lang siya sa 4 KSI. And then yung pinakamatibay na pwede mong mabili sa mga hardware or in the market is the 34 megapascal, which is equal to 5 KSI. Okay? So, in practical terms, kapag sinabi nating F prime C is equal to 28 megapascal, ibig sabihin nun, yun yung specific compression strength ng concrete na gagamitin natin sa design. Kasi importante din kasi to kapag drawing na tayo or kapag gumawa na tayo ng tinatawag na structural drawings. As you can see here in this slide, may makikita kayo ditong isang structural drawing. However, in this structural drawing, may makikita kayo ng tinatawag na structural requirement. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta tinatype sa drawing para magpaganda doon sa mismong presentation ng ating drawing. So, dito natin nilalagay kung ano yung mga specifications ng material na kailangan gamitin in the actual construction as well as yung ginamit natin during the design process. Okay? Kasi importante ito kasi kapag mali ang appearance sa drawing, mali na rin ang basis ng design. Kaya nga dapat dito sa mga ganitong structural drawings, malinaw natin na pine-present kung gaano nga bang kalakas yung ating compression strength na gagamitin and also in terms of availing that kind of strength. So as you can see, according dito sa ating drawing, ang nakalagay dito or ang nakaspecify dito for the reinforced concrete, you need to use 21 megapascal. Ibig sabihin lang nito, ito yung pwede mong mabili or ito dapat yung gagamitin mo in the actual execution of this project or of this structure. Okay? So actually, pwede ka naman tumaas ng 21 megapascal kung madaming budget yung procurement, no? So, kaya lang, dapat hindi ka na bababa doon sa mismong structural requirements niya at the very minimum. Okay, so next part naman tayo. So after ng ating concrete compressive strength, let's talk about the tensile strength of the concrete. So we already know na mahina ang concrete sa tension. May tensile strength pa rin siya, pero usually this is to represent by using modulus of rupture. Pero sa ating concrete design, once again, madalas nagiging conservative tayo. Sa flexural design, we usually neglected the tensile strength ng concrete. So, bakit nga ba natin siya nineglect? Kasi nga, alam naman natin na kapag nag-crack ang concrete sa tension, lalo na sa ating concrete, yung steel or yung steel material na itself, yung inaasahan natin magdadala ng tensile force. Hindi, syempre, si concrete, magdadala pa rin yan ng tensile force. However, pinapaubaya na natin sa steel reinforcement yung buong tension or the tensile force. Okay? So, laging ninyong tatandaan, especially in the reinforced concrete, in the flexural design later on, concrete in tension is usually ignored and the steel reinforcement carries the tension. Okay, so let's proceed naman sa properties of the steel. So we already knew that the steel is very good in tension, kaya yan yung pinaka ginagamit natin sa ating reinforcement. Kaso, ang pinaka-importanting property ng ating steel, especially in our reinforced design, ay yung tinatawag na yield strength. Okay? So when you say yield strength is the stress level where the steel begins to yield. Ibig sabihin, doon lang siya nagkakaroon ng large deformation without much increase in stress. Okay? So, yung ating yield strength later on, actually, ang common na variable na ginagamit natin dito is F sub Y. Kung kanina sa concrete, ginagamit nating stress para doon ay F prime C, dito naman ay F sub Y. Later on, makikita nyo siya all around in our given as we go on sa mga sample problem. Okay, so one of the common steel grades, kaparehas lang siya ng concrete na mabibili nyo sa mga sa market or sa mga suking hardware. So meron tayo ditong grades of 230 megapascal, 280 megapascal, and 420 megapascal. Okay? Pero in the common practice of the design, lalo na sa mga main reinforcement, gumagamit tayo ng 420 megapascal. So that sa mga sample problems natin later on, may mga ranges tayo ng value ng yield strength. Minsan ginagamit is 415 megapascal, madalas naman is 420 megapascal. And that is very applicable sa mga main reinforcements natin. However, sa mga stirrups, yung mga nakapulupot doon sa ating mga bakal, gumagamit tayo ng mas mahinang yield strength para doon. Usually naglalaro sa 230 to 280 megapascal para at least ang reason dito para madali siyang mabend. Kasi kapag gumamit ka ng 420 megapascal as your stirrups or as your lateral ties, mahirap po siyang i-bend kasi nga mas mataas nga yung kanyang yielding strength in comparison with these two available yield strength na pwede natin mabili sa local markets. Alright, so let's proceed naman sa mga types of reinforcement. Alam naman natin or you already have an idea kung ano nga ba yung mga nakikita ninyong mga bakal na ginagamit, especially in partner with our concrete, kaya nagiging reinforced concrete siya. But let's further elaborate kung ano nga ba yung mga different types ng ating steel reinforcement. So una, we have hot rolled steel bars. Ito yung common rebars na nakikita natin sa construction. Okay? Kaso ang problema lang dito sa hot rolled steel bars is wala siyang tinatawag na ribs. Okay? R-I-B-S. Wala siyang ribs. Kasi sa next type naman natin, which is what you call longitudinal bars, same lang siya ng term ng hot rolled steel bars, kaya lang meron siyang tinatawag na ribs. Kapag sinabi nating ribs, ibig sabihin lang nito ay ditong magbabond yung ating concrete material. That's why para hindi dumulas yung ating bakal, nilalagyan siya ng ganitong klaseng texture. Okay? So madalas ito yung ginagamit natin para magdala ng bending or ng actual force or ito yung nagre-resist talaga for the tension. Then pangatlo is yung tinatawag na pre-stress cable. So ito naman ay ginagamit sa pre-stress concrete kung saan may initial tension na ina-apply sa cable bago pa man magdala ng service load ang member. So later on class, we will further discuss kung kung bakit nga ba natin ginagamit ang pre-stress cable sa pre-stress concrete. Let's further elaborate for this material or for this construction materials. But of course, ang main focus lang natin dito sa ating reinforced concrete for now is the usage of the longitudinal bars, which is itong material na ito. So, aside sa yield strength, importante din yung tinatawag na toughness, ductility, durability, and weldability. Pero ang pinaka-critical dito sa ating reinforced concrete ay ang ductility. So kapag sinabi natin ductility, meaning kaya ng steel na mag-deform bago tuluyang maputol. So bakit nga ba importante na kinoconsider din natin ang ductility? Kasi ayaw natin na magkaroon ng brittle failure. So ayaw natin na biglang mag-collapse ng walang warning. That's why yun din yung another purpose kung bakit tayo naglalagay ng bakal. Okay? Para kapag na hindi na kinayanan ng ating concrete, yung excessive load, hindi siya bigla ang masisira. So, nararanasan nyo naman yan when you are using a UTM, di ba? Kapag kinakrush yung concrete, hindi siya nagde-deform right away. Bigla siyang nag-fail without giving us a warning. So, kaya naglalagay tayo ng bakal. So, aside din sa para ma-resist yung tensile force na nararanasan ng ating concrete, another thing kung bakit tayo naglalagay ng bakal is for the ductility. Gusto natin kasi na magbibigay muna siya ng warning before we do some action on the reinforced concrete. So, mas prefer din natin na mag-yield muna yung steel bago magkaroon ng visible cracks or deflection. So, bago umabot ng failure, once again, it will gives us a warning. Kaya sa design, mas gusto natin na maging tension controlled ang behavior kaysa sa compression controlled behavior, which is later on, I will elaborate those kind of failures na nararanasan ng reinforced concrete. So, ito lang yung pinaka-focus natin, yung yield strength sa buong values. Okay? Sa values ng ating mga sample problems later on. Okay, so further elaboration for the commercial availability of the steel material. So, of course, discuss ko na rin dito yung ating mga yield strength, yung kung ano yung mga strength na pwede ninyong mabili sa mga local markets. And also, meron din tayong mga availability, depende naman sa mga rebar size. Okay, so we have for the residential construction, we have 10 mm, 12 mm, 16 mm, and 20 mm. So for the high-rise buildings naman, gumagamit tayo ng 25 mm, 28 mm, 32 mm, and 36 mm. Okay? So which is, just in case lang na, for example, kailangan talaga ng malaking bakal, no? So hanggang 36 lang yung pwede ninyong mabili. Kaso, may kino-consider din tayo na tinatawag na bundle reinforcement. So, ibig sabihin lang ng pinagsasama lang natin dito yung mga bakal. Okay? So that it can compensate on how much steel area yung kailangan natin dito. Okay? And then, another thing is the commercial length size. So, may mabibili kayo dito na 6 meters, 7.5 meters, 9 meters, and 12 meters. Okay? So, sa mga local hardware, usually they offer plus 1.5 meters starting from 6 meters. So, kailangan nyo rin itong malaman para at least kung hindi kayo mapunta do sa mismong design aspect, at least in terms of construction, kung malalagay kayo sa procurement, at least alam niyo kung ano yung mga availabilities ng mga materials natin. And also, same lang din with our concrete earlier. Importante din siya na dapat yung strength ng ating steel material ay dapat declared din kung ano yung kaya nila or kung ano yung strength na availability in our whole design. Kasi nga, kapag in-execute na natin siya sa project at hindi nasunod yung nasa drawing itself or kung ano yung mga availability ng ating strength, magkakaroon tayo ng malaking failure sa construction ng ating mga structures. Okay, so let's discuss naman yung mga advantages of reinforced concrete. So now, bakit nga ba widely used ang reinforced concrete? So ito yung mga advantages niya as a structural material. So una, concrete is strong in compression. Alam naman natin yung pinaka-strength ng kanyang material, which is concrete itself. Strong talaga siya in compression. Second, maganda ang fire and water resistance niya compared sa ibang material. Kasi nga, kapag steel, yung let's say the wide flange, yung mga I-beam na ginagamit alternatively sa reinforced concrete, kapag yan ay nagkaroon ng sunog or nagkaroon ng baha, alam naman natin na madaling masira or should I say na prone talaga sa deformation at sa corrosion yung ating steel. That's why most of the time sa mga buildings gumagamit talaga tayo ng concrete para at least it can resist fire and water. Third, reinforced concrete structures are very rigid. So kapag very rigid, ibig sabihin lang nito class, hindi siya madaling mag-bend. Yan pang-apat, low maintenance compared with steel or timber. So low maintenance, ibig sabihin hindi mo kailangan dito from time to time na mag-maintenance or should I say na mag-retrofit. Kasi kapag sinabi nating retrofit, usually you are doing it kapag yung building ay sobrang tanda. Which is, yun na yung magiging maintenance ng ating concrete building. So if you're using a structural steel, ibig sabihin lang nun, once na nag-corrode siya, is kailangan mo nang apply ng bagong pintura. Which is from time to time, yun yung kailangan mo maintenance for that. Kapag timber naman, timber, ibig sabihin, kahoy yung material. So, alam naman natin na prone siya sa mga termites. So, once na naprotekte na siya ng mga termites, is kailangan mong i-replace yung timber member na yun. Then, a-applyan mo pa siya ng parang special paint para at least hindi siya lapitan ng mga termites. Okay? Then, fifth, it has a very long service life as compared to other materials. Under proper conditions, reinforced concrete structures can be used indefinitely without reduction of their load-carrying capability. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, it has a very long service life kapag maayos ang design, construction, and maintenance. 6. Concrete material is very widely available and the reinforcing steel can be transported easily to the construction site than a structural steel. In most remote areas, reinforced concrete is preferred construction materials. So, very talaga siya, very available talaga. Kahit saan ka mapunta, kapag mayroon kang cement, aggregates, water, and steel, yun na, very accessible siya. No? So, kahit saan ka mapunta na location around here sa ating, sa mga construction projects natin. Then finally, concrete has the ability to cast in any variety of shapes and dimensions of desired structure. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, flexible siya, especially on the structural and architectural form. So, kapag may size kayo na kailangan i-confirm, let's say, kung gusto niyo i-confirm in terms of architectural aspect, so you can form the concrete into different kinds of shape. So, kung meron tayong advantage, we also have a disadvantage. So, some of it, ito yung disadvantage ng ating concrete. So, syempre, alam naman natin na hindi rin perfect ang reinforced concrete. It has a several disadvantage. So, una, concrete has a very low tensile strength requiring the use of tension steel reinforcement. So, kaya nga nilalagyan nga natin ng bakal, no? Kasi nga, mahina nga talaga yung concrete sa tensile strength. Second, the construction of cast-in-place structures requires forms and shoring to hold the concrete in place and support its weight until it hardens and until its strength is adequate. So, in cast-in-place construction, kailangan talaga natin ng tinatawag na formworks. So, hindi siya instant. Kailangan ng curing and support habang hindi pa sapat yung strength para tanggalin yung mga formworks natin. Then third, it has a reliability, low strength per unit weight or volume. It means concrete members requires a larger volume and a great weight of materials which has a great effect on bending moments. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, mabigat ang concrete. So, since mabigat siya or heavy, lumalaki rin yung kanyang in terms of dead load, lumalaki yung kanyang weight overall dun sa kanyang structure. Lastly, fourth, the properties of concrete vary widely because of variations in its proportioning and mixing. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, madami siyang variation yung properties ng ating concrete. It can be depend on the mixing, curing, workmanship, water cement ratio, and quality control. So, doon depende yung kanyang strength. Okay? Kaya sa reinforced concrete design, hindi lang design ang importante, importante din ang construction quality.